Welcome to episode 3 of my State of Xbox Game Studios series. This time, we're looking at Undead Labs. Whereas episode 1 on the Coalition was all positive, this episode is going to be the complete opposite. If you're an Xbox fanboy who can't handle any criticism of the brand, you can go ahead and click off this video now. You're not going to like what I have to say. Founded in November 2009 by Jeff Strain, with a sole focus on zombie-based games, this Seattle-based studio is known for the State of Decay franchise. It would be another 4 years or so when the first State of Decay would release on Xbox 360 via Xbox Live Arcade, and was met with relatively positive reviews and a respectable 78 on Metacritic. I didn't play the original release, but I remember the game being described as a great zombie survival simulator that was marred down by ugly image quality and a choppy frame rate. This is why I was very excited to play the Xbox One version that came out in 2015, as surely these issues would be gone with more development time and more powerful hardware. Wrong. The game was still so bogged down with glitches and terrible performance that I put it down after a few hours.
Nice.
State of Decay 2 also got off on the wrong foot. The original game, which was single player only, was envisioned as a step towards Undead Labs' full online console game. Basically, get the bones of a good zombie survival simulator figured out before opening it up to become a massively multiplayer online game on the Xbox One. Yet State of Decay 2 had none of this, and was basically more State of Decay with online co-op. Metacritic was even worse for State of Decay 2, getting a 66 on Xbox One. Coming out 5 years later in 2018, this isn't even surprising given the lack of innovation, and once again an unforgivable amount of bugs and performance issues. I didn't even bother with this one. Anyways, shortly after the release of State of Decay 2, Microsoft announced they had acquired Undead Labs at their 2018 E3 presentation. Fast forward a bit to 2020 and we get the first glimpse of State of Decay 3 with a CGI trailer. Out of all the terrible smoke and mirror trailers Xbox showed in that 2020 showcase, to make it look like their first party content was in a much better situation than it was, this one might have been the most offensive. It literally tells us nothing about the game. What exacerbates the problem of announcing games when you have nothing to show is that we're now over 2 years on from this trailer and we have yet to see it again. Even under normal circumstances, this would be a terrible cadence to show off your game, and unfortunately, the reasons why we haven't seen more can paint a worse picture of the company.
Days gone. Days gone. Sorry.
What is going on?
Oh my god. Oh, I hate that.
In March of 2022, Kotaku published an article detailing allegations of sexism, bullying, and burnout at Undead Labs. It's quite the article that I recommend you read to get the full picture of just how toxic Undead Labs is, where here are some of the cliff notes. Point 1. The sexist studio culture was abetted by Philip Holt, the new studio head who replaced Strain, and then head of HR Ann Schlosser. Schlosser was removed after the Microsoft HR investigation. The toxic environment, which continued after Schlosser's departure, led to a high employee turnover rate, especially among experienced staff. Point 2. A lack of design vision contributed to extensive delays in the development of State of Decay 3. Point 3. Employees blamed Microsoft for not living up to its goals of diversity, equity, and inclusion by not responding to reports of abuse in a timely manner. Point 4. The game is still in pre-production due to this mismanagement and toxic culture. One source felt State of Decay 3 could be stuck in pre-production for a year or more. They're still square one with a lot of stuff. So, am I confident that State of Decay 3 will be a good game that's released anytime soon, thus building momentum for Undead Labs to flourish under Xbox Game Studios? Not a chance. Whereas Microsoft's very hands-off approach worked well for the Coalition, as they have great leadership and a focused vision for the Gears franchise and probably what's coming next. The complete shit show at Undead Labs shows the bad side to this approach. Microsoft must impose itself on its developers when bad actors take advantage of the lack of oversight originally granted so that the acquired studio could hopefully maintain why it was worth being acquired in the first place. One former developer puts it well. We were afraid they would come in and change our culture, but our collapse came from within, and we could have used Microsoft's help. As it stands, Undead Labs is a company with a track record of buggy games and not delivering on the MMO game for Xbox One. State of Decay 3 is a game that got announced over 2 years ago that's still in pre-production and will continue to be for at least another year according to Kotaku sources. Most importantly, it's not entirely sure if management has learned the right lessons that spawned a toxic culture once the founder of the company left, who incidentally did respond in a Medium post that is no longer up. I give it more of a chance that Undead Labs becomes Dead Labs than us seeing a good State of Decay 3 before 2025.
I didn't expect this. This is
going a long time too.
Fucked. This just like destroyed the whole game. Oh my god. Oh, that was like the car's gone. The car's not even.